Do you guys ever feel like you're wrestling with your brain as you're drawing? Because I always feel that way.
And it's kind of like you think you see something just because you've been taught how to symbolize it in your head. Like, for example, you have been taught as a kid that a house is a rectangle for the quote unquote body of the house and then a triangular shape for the roof, when in reality, houses are they come in like so many different shapes and sizes apart from that. But your brain has kind of developed all these shortcuts and these symbols to tell you. So you're just like fighting with your brain. So for example, here I know that the digging arm of this machine is actually in front of the machine. And that it can go deeper, but when I look at it, actually the bottom of that digging thing is level to the wheels, when maybe necessary it's not that way, or that the digging arm is actually in front of the machine, but from my angle it is actually slightly to the right of it.
Let me see if I can do it a little bit more clearly, maybe using my face as an example. So I would say like maybe the corners of my mouth are kind of aligned to like my pupils instead of being like just like the mouth is below the eyes, but just try to find those like anchor points where things actually match. So this is something that I'm trying to do, and in this case we're doing this on this little cute machine right here. And I mean the reason why it's cute is because like we're not standing next to it, and that's why I can say that it's kind of adorable.
Another way I am also challenging my brain to see is not just in terms of planes, in terms of like where the top of the machine meets the side of the machine and where that joint or that point is, but also training myself to see color. So this crane, like the local color, which is the color that is painted onto the machine itself, is a little bit of a turquoise slash turquoise. I'm actually still not sure how you pronounce that color, but it's that tint of green. But when you look at the crane itself, or sorry, the digging machine itself, most of it is actually not that bright turquoise color. Instead, there's a lot of green mixed with like dark color for the shadow, and then there's also some more white areas, and that's where the sun or the light kind of reflects from the machine. So it's trying to pick up on all these different nuances. For example, the wheels is like a yellow ochre base, I would think, but now I'm mixing it a little bit with some vermilion slash scarlet rose, or well, in simple terms, my warm and cool red. Like I'm mixing it with some red because I know that there's a little bit of brownish color and it's not just pure yellow, and maybe a little bit of blue as well, but also trying to make sure that the color is not too muddy in order for it to still reflect like what's on there. So it's trying to pick up all these little nuances is what I'm trying to do. And also, I'm not sure if you've noticed, there's like a different style of editing that I'm using here for my videos. It's feedback that I've received, and it's solicited, of course, because I did ask for feedback from people who would not watch my channel otherwise. And then I did receive the feedback that maybe my videos should just start a little bit quicker and just do away with the vlogging portion. I personally kind of like the vlogging portion because I feel like it introduces us a little bit to the surrounding of Hong Kong. And I think that Hong Kong itself is unique, as in it's not an environment that you might encounter very commonly in like Hollywood movies, for example. So I do think that that aspect is quite nice, but I don't know. Let me know if you are down with it, or if you prefer the vlogs removed, kind of like this one, and us jumping into it. Of course, I'm also experimenting with camera angles and such, and it's really just more of me experimenting into this foray of YouTube and how I can best document like my experience. So I'm really open to trying new things, but would love to hear your feedback as well. And lastly, this tiny little sketch for me is like a little weightlifting session. So as someone who does exercise with weights quite a lot, you always want to warm up and try to train different muscles of your brain. Like if you're trying to do a new action, you don't immediately go for your like full weight. Like you start off with a tiny little move first, and like some tiny baby weights, like maybe like a 1 kilo versus like a 5 or a 10 kilo, just to learn the moves and get used to it. So I feel like challenging my brain to see this machine, this digging machine, both from the planes perspective and also from the colors perspective, is like me lifting up baby weights to get ready for the big ones, which is like a full-blown painting or something. Not that I'm super into that just yet, because I think I'm quite happy with these tiny little sketches that I love to bring around with me. But it's always a good preparation or a warm-up, and that's what I'm focusing on doing, at least for the near future.
Alright, thank you so much again for joining me today. It's a little different this time, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll catch you guys in the next one, and let me know where you're doing to like do a little bit of muscle building for your brain this week. Bye!